develops complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. You know where we can find that?
Yes,
In the Wrestling Mayhem.
that's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello, friends. I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. You know where we can find that?
Yes,
In the Wrestling Mayhem.
that's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello, friends. I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. You know where we can find that?
Yes,
In the Wrestling Mayhem.
that's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello, friends. I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm the Riz.
And, you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. Do you know where we can find that?
Yes,
In the Wrestling Mayhem.
that's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/AwesomeCast. It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast episode 740, and the live from the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, PA, and we got Cats with a Cone. Cats with a Cone. Dave Potter's with us with, who's the new friend?
The new friend is Monty.
Monty. Monty has a cone. Is that duct tape on it?
Yeah, the cone was so small that when we got him from the shelter, and I'll say this for on the air. Basically, when we said yes, we want that cat, they said, "Oh, he's not neutered yet. We'll put him on the schedule for tomorrow, and you can pick him up tomorrow night." So that was last when we pick you up, kiddo. Wednesday. We picked him up on Wednesday, and he is just so calm. I mean, right now he is purring up a storm, and he's just completely enjoying. But they gave us the cone, and they said, "Well, you could take it off, but you know, he has dissolving stitches, so they don't want it to be on there." Well, we took it off of him. We tried putting it on, but he's so teeny tiny that like the where the rope or whatever was just so small in here. They did have it taped with they did have a tape. You can see a little bit of purple there with like medical tape, the wide medical tape. Well, we didn't have wide medical tape, but we had duct tape.
I'm going to fix the cat with duct tape. No problem, guys. No problem. We got
duct
this.
Tape fixes everything.
Absolutely. Also with us from the Duds Cave is... Oh, no, that's wrong. This is me. That was the show notes.
From the spreadsheet.
From the spreadsheet is the Dudders.
Hi, Monty has that orange cat energy. They're cool and no brain cells.
He's waiting for his chance with the brain cell. Yeah.
I love it.
Love it. Katie, how you doing?
Good. I just have a giant cat behind me.
Do you want to
start? He's not orange.
Speaking of cats, do you want to start with the thing? I don't know why I'm holding this.
Oh, yeah.
You want to start with the thing that we missed last week. Let's go and put it at the top of the show. We don't forget. It is July, and July means another edition of...
Cat Cat Wars.
Cat Wars calendar, and we have Cat to go with Cat Wars. That looks like it has the cone of the Death Star beam on it.
I love it. All right, so our newest month. Let's recap what we've been. So January, we seek high ground for a path to the light. We trained for this. I have Fuzzball in February. Fuzzball February feels like. My powers of persuasion are catastrophic for March.
Oh, jeez.
April, I know. I forgot how bad these were. Let go of the dark and hold on to hope. May was difficult to see the dark side can be.
Oh, the dog has green eyes. The dog has green eyes.
Very realistic.
Yeah, okay. All right.
June was fear not as you look within with the
mirror.
And then for July we have
set this
I'm excited.
vibe up. Set this vibe up.
I know. We have your catnip will be your undoing. So I was like,
is that a black dog in the back? Your catnap will be your undoing. Okay. The dog is holding a lightsaber, and are those electric?
yeah. That's force lightning from the eyes.
Okay, completely on base there. Wow.
Yeah, it's real nice. Yep, Getty Images. Thank you, Getty Images.
and likely AI. That's right.
Yeah,
you know what? I don't know. Like it just could be the intern Photoshop project too, right? I mean,
true. Mm-hmm. Whatever's cheaper. Yeah, we know it'll be whatever's cheaper. Last year with an intern cheaper. In the next 12 months, AI will be cheaper.
Well, as we're discovering here, so I literally used AI. I'm doing these marathons on YouTube. Because I see these like angry video game nerd and Secret Galaxy, every Transformers video we did, every Ninja Turtles video we did, every Mega Man video we did or something, right? That's like a couple hours long, and they put in marathons. So we're putting wrestling in it, and I literally one thing it did do well was I took all the show posters and said make one image with all these posters for YouTube. It made it vertical though, so I need to, but still it didn't like change them. It looked like it just placed them together. I was like, hey, make this one image. So it's helping with quick Photoshop tasks, let's say. So anyways, let's get into our thing of the week. Katie, let's start with you with the local freshness.
Yes, this weekend is one of, the whole country's top events. We always seem to be like, I think in the USA Today and other folks, this is one of the top 10 events. Oh yeah, it's Picklesburg, guys.
Picklesburg,
it's back.
Yay!
And we are back on the bridges. We're 6th and 7th Street Bridge, Hines Hall, Allegheny Landing, Fort Duquesne Boulevard, PPG Plaza. It's massive this year. Like this is huge for this particular event, and it is July 11th through the 13th. It's Friday through Sunday. You passed one of the most exciting things they've added. It is pickle riding.
What the pickle riding?
Pickle riding. It is like bull riding, but it's a pickle. You pay $12 and you get to ride a pickle. It's down by 4th Avenue by PPG Place. The mechanical pickle.
Mechanical pickle. Wow. This is incredible. So
for Gherkin Gory.
I remember we went last year. We
were
just looking for pins, pickle pins. I think
yes.
Was our big Missy and I were trying to find last year. So it's a good time. I would say last year was on Boulevard of the Allies, right? Was one of the bridges being worked on or something at that time? Maybe
it was mostly Market Square.
Okay.
And then, because I think something was going on.
2 years ago because I went 2 years ago and it was the Boulevard of the Allies and it was so packed.
Yeah.
You literally couldn't move.
Yeah, it was interesting. So
I want to point out something else. If you go back to the logo they had for the what does that remind you of?
I don't know what you're. Wait a minute.
I'm gonna say wrestling belt.
I'm going for shape and color.
Oh yeah, that does look like a wrestling belt kind of thing.
It almost looks like, I know, wrong show, but still, it almost looks like the 24/7 championship belt.
which we're very familiar with because that's the belt. The Mattel foam version was what they used for the fantasy football championship belt as well here for Mayhem Show. No, it's a good time. It's wild. I don't know if you'll want to do all the pickly things like pickle alcohol and drinks and all those kinds of things. But still, if you like some fried pickles and other things of that nature, it's kind of a fun time for this. So is this again? Remind me, Katie, how this started. Was this a takeoff from Heinz being from here, or I can't remember what the roots were for Picklesburg.
I think that's what it was. I think it was started out as, we're going to celebrate being part of, Heinz in the city. And I think it just kind of took on a mind of its own, or like became like just this thing. Yeah. Oh, #1 specialty food festival in the country 4 times by the readers of USA Today. See, I knew they won something.
There you go. And Heinz is obviously a title sponsor on this. It's a Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership is the organizers on it. So yeah, pickle themed food, drinks, and more items, things with faces on them.
I would say go real quick. Go to up to vendors and then Taste of Picklesburg.
Taste of Picklesburg.
And it has a listing of the different places down there and the different food. These are not just the vendors that'll be lining. But if you, so you have. But if you go up to where it says, see here, if you go to, just hover over vendors. Don't click on it, but just kind of up top where the menu is.
Oh, there we go.
And then you go down to Taste of Picklesburg. Yeah. And you start scrolling down. They'll have pictures of the various things that the restaurants will have and where and you can see it's very nice. There's a map there.
And some of them are just restaurants that are already down there and they have some special things.
Oh no, that's what this one is. This is all the restaurants that are down
on
there.
Penn Avenue is going to have a Samba Song pickle papaya margarita, Smoketown pickle tomatillo martino, pickled sangrita. So pickle alcohol is on the menu. Pickled wings, pickled flatbread down at Forbes Tavern, pickled socks, pickle bucket hat at Heinz Healy's. Las Vegas is still down there. They got pickled margaritas, tacos, and a pickleback shot. And Love Pittsburgh's got these little beanies, these little pickle beanies. So, yeah, there's a lot of fun. A lot of fun down there. So, it's a good pickle day. Good pickle day.
And you know what's back? It's the pickle triathlon. I'm sorry, Dilcathlon.
Dilcathlon.
And you're not familiar with this. Usually Ia Jagoff hosts it, and again, they're hosting it this year. So if you come down Friday, you'll get to see me. Yeah. But it's I like the daredevils on these. Like the puns are great this year. But there's pickle drinking, pickle eating, and pickle bobbing. And these contests rotate throughout the day. I think, they run noon to like 9:30 p.m. And then they have the championship on Sunday. Registration is filled on these, but if you really want to compete, stop down and you could sign up to see, because sometimes folks don't show up and then we go to our standby list. And you could be competing in a pickle juice drinking competition.
And of course, there will be the floating pickle.
Yeah.
Oh, and I do want to give one additional heads up because scheduling. Who wants to see if you want to schedule multiple events happening at the same time? Because Friday evening is the America Mile race, formerly known as the Liberty Mile race, which starts on the north side, underneath the Veterans Bridge by the Marathon headquarters, also right by the Light of Life rescue, and ends up down by the football stadium. So you're going to have a whole bunch of people. They normally get a few thousands and thousands, starting there, running down River Road, kind of going near the bridges,
skirting around the Picklesburg, if you will.
Exactly, and ending up right by the football stadium.
Oh, okay.
So if you're thinking, I'll just easily go and park on the north side, there'll be road closing on the north side because the first race starts, I think, at 6:30 or 6:15, and the last heat, because for us slow pokes, we go first, and they let us finish, and then they let the quicker, and each heat was like a quicker grouping, and it finishes up with the male and female competitive runners. The ones who can say, oh, you can do a mile between, let's say, 4 minutes and 4:20, versus someone who they could do a 5K in the time it takes me to do a mile. So those are the quickest ones, but they'll go until around 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So, north side, if you're looking to go down, will be, shut off to traffic for most of the evening.
So that'll be fun. I might go Sunday. So just because that's how my schedule honestly is working out. So we got some events that we want to watch, or we actually do something in the studio here Friday night. So so go check that out. Go check out the pickle drinking contest. A nice fun thing to have here in the city. So my awesome thing of the week is I just actually recorded a podcast earlier with our friends at SAE. That's why I was playing with this flag earlier, because I had to change the mics out. But anyways, we were talking with our friends at Oshkosh and Pratt Miller. Oshkosh had apparently purchased Pratt Miller. Pratt Miller is a company that works with motorsports mostly and does development around that. A lot of technology pushing. And one of the things they brought up was, a recent announcement that actually this is from CES. So Pratt Miller, again, they do motorsports, and there's a cam system that they've developed that would help you. Like that thing where the red light bleeps on the on the newer cars. For me, it's the rental cars. I can't remember if my new Maverick does it. But if you're going too fast and it doesn't think that you're going to stop in time, I think it's something like that for this cam system. But the idea is that like the cars coming up on you, behind you on the track, on a racetrack, it lets you know kind of what their speed is and the class of the car and things like that. And my understanding was so you can determine whether to kind of block them or let them overtake you. What would be safer, obviously, in that strategy. I just watched some racing. I just watched F1, so I got racing on the brain too. So with Brad Pitt. But anyway, so the interesting part with them merging that over was they took technology from the Pratt Miller side, and Oshkosh, as Katie, you remember from when we did Baja up in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, near their facility, they brought out a lot of the cool military vehicles and high-end vehicles and things like that. It was a pretty good time. One of the things they work on is especially fire trucks. And the cam system that they presented at CES, and this is still rolling out, and it's apparently going to roll out into 2026. They're going to actually integrate it into like fire trucks and things for first responders. There's an aftermarket kit I think they're working. Sounds like they're working on to go with police officers. One of the biggest issues they talk about, like when there's emergency responders on the side of the road. How many times we hear stories of cars not seeing them, speeding up too much, and then there would be, some kind of accident or something, and the first responders have been injured, on the side of the highway or something like that. So the idea is this will be an early warning system that will give, and it can be from this, it can be from a horn to a light, depending on how they configure the system, that at least give a heads up that something bad is about to happen to brace, move, get ready for an impact. That alone, that momentary heads up could be enough to save somebody's life, obviously, and keep from injury, especially at high rates of speed, like you're seeing in the picture here, an incident from when one of these accidents happened with a fire truck. So that's the idea there. So I thought it was really cool. They talked about that, about this high-end tech that they're using for sports cars are getting brought over to first responders like this across their and also even talk about this, like I feel like every time I see Oshkosh at these Baja and Formula events, we discover one more thing that they do. So like they're really JLG lifts that you see on sites and stuff like that, like that's part of it. Like I don't know how many company banners they had on their S&T course this year for instance. So it was a really cool kind of crossover for something like that, and hearing a little bit about the ins and outs about how that kind of stuff works. So look for that. That's going to be on the SAE Beyond the Competition podcast stream. Should be launching next Thursday. We just got it in the can this morning, or actually this afternoon. So looking forward to get that together and out to people next week. So a little preview for that. But that was kind of like the cool thing I learned today. So, but and Dave, you said you were unfamiliar with Oshkosh as a as this sort of company.
Well, I would say if you're not familiar with it,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're not involved with the various industries, when you hear of Oshkosh, you may think of the clothing company Oshkosh Bagosh. And it just so happened they were both founded in the same city,
Yep.
but there's no crossover.
No, absolutely no.
But wait a minute, you'd be surprised the crossovers that companies have.
And especially this one, because it's got a
Yes.
lot going on. No, yeah, it's up there for yeah, it's more of a, obviously there's high-end stuff, there's military vehicles, there's a lot of, they do parts and technology and kind of, I think kind of OEM stuff that is a part of other parts of cars and other things that there's a whole list. I need to go back to it in the editing. There was like a list of things that he mentioned, including like the robot that's going to deliver your mail. There's like, wait, the what? Like they just rattled a bunch of the stuff off, and I was like,
Well,
I'm going to be
also-
looking up like three things that you just mentioned because I'm really curious about that. What is happening with the cat? They didn't even look real. What is going on with the cat?
He just
It looks
It's
like
a
a
satellite
cat.
dish.
It looked like a Cat Wars image. What the heck?
Okay, don't knock it over, Monty. Don't knock it over. Okay, but
He
also,
says,
I
what
would
does
say
this
this.
have on the internet?
If you're exactly, it's like I'm a cat. I'm supposed to be on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to be in that series of tubes on the internet.
Yes.
But if you see the weird looking new electric mail trucks,
Mm-hmm.
the ones that actually look like a baseball cap almost, they're weird looking, but they're weird looking because they're like, we want to have maximum visibility. Well, to do that, you need a big curved windshield.
Sure.
It makes it look weird. Oshkosh is the one who developed and produced those.
So that's what they were talking about. Okay.
Yeah. If you look up there, right? You see what I mean?
Yeah, a big front windshield and everything. So, and this is something that'll be delivering your mail like to a mailbox neighborhood. Probably not mine as much.
Well, no, that they're going to replace all the mail. The idea is
they're not mail trucks. They're not mail trucks around here.
Okay.
Let's just put it that way. They're just like a guy in a car that drives up and walks the neighborhood.
Our mail
So,
trucks look like
Yeah.
just regular trucks.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But
or
that's what they're
or
going
if
to
you're
replace,
in,
or supposedly,
or if you're out in the cut, it's just somebody's car, or modified
now I'll
or
say
something
this.
with a sticker on the side.
That was the plan, but those are electric vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
So and not getting into politics, this is according to what's got changed. They may have cut that completely and said we're not buying any more of those.
I understand. Yeah, I understand. It's just my understanding, and I believe this is part of the big bill that just passed. They're cutting this program, which means they're going to sell off all of them that they purchased already at a loss
and tear out all the electric chargers they installed.
Right. Like,
which just again, forget about politics. If it's installed,
it's wasteful. It's wasteful.
Tearing something out you installed.
Yes.
For no good reason other than the fact of, we don't like it.
Yes.
It's wasteful.
It's like
stupid.
it's already there. It's installed. It's usable, and that's just that I find on a technical and cost side obscene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, agreed.
Like that's where we can reasonably agree on. But yeah, that's here nor there. That's a different podcast. So, but either way, Oshkosh, you've learned more about it. Dave Potter, what is your?
Well, let me say, I'll have two things. The first thing I have a link for the Humane Animal Rescue League in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we got Monty from, and our cat last year, Daisy.
HumaneAnimalRescue.org if you want to go check it out.
Yes. We got both of our cats from the one in Homewood, and their facility is truly amazing. The size of the cages for the cats are mammoth for when you think about the size of cages and shelters, and the areas for the dog. It is large. They got plenty of room. The animals are not squeezed together.
Somebody tell me
kitten
about kitten yoga.
Yes.
Katie, I think this is your jam.
I just can lay there with the kittens. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
As long as you don't. Why do they trap the cat in the mat? Is this how I'm supposed to transport my cat for yoga?
I'll say this. Some cats like that.
That's true too.
If you
You know
look
what?
up kitty burrito, some cats like being wrapped up in things like that.
My Chihuahua may like that because it loves to burrow.
Mhm.
Is one of its instincts. So
Exactly.
yes.
Exactly. So that's the first thing. The second thing,
Mm-hmm.
now I have the link for the product and I have a link for a video of it in use. Um, and so we recently chopped. You don't have to have audio on the video, if you want to play it. But we recently chopped down a tree that was close to our house. I generally don't like to chop down trees, but it was kind of close, and we wanted, I mean, really, really close to the
Mhm.
house. So we chopped it down. We're like, okay, what do we do with, the sticks and everything? It was a holly tree. So there's not really leaves, but what do we do with all the sticks that are on it? And I think Monty's confused because he sees me on the screen. And he sees movement on the screen, so he's like really watching the screen closely. So I'm trying to make sure he doesn't knock over my camera. But it was like, okay, well, I called Penn Hills and said, okay, I see on your website you have a composting area. And they said, well, we only allow leaves now because of regulations from the state. And so I looked into renting a chipper since I don't have a chipper at home. And Home Depot, and nothing against them, I looked up and said, okay, where's it at? Where can you rent one? There's one in Allegheny County. One machine in Allegheny County, not one store, one machine in all of Allegheny County. And for for one day, it would cost me around $100 some.
Oh, geez.
And it's like, okay, this thing's going to be taking multiple days because this was a 15, 20-foot tall tree. So it's going to take me a while to go through it. And I said, okay, well, where can I buy one? And Harbor Freight, which is similar to like Lowe's or Home Depot, except they only have their own branded stuff. That's why you see Portland electric chipper.
Wow.
It's similar to another one. So this one does, and this is why I got it, it can do around 1.5 inch diameter sticks. Now, like I said, if you go in the link in the doc, I put a link to one I did. It's a little bit longer, and you can skip like a minute into it too.
Oh, there it is.
But,
okay, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Okay.
No, that's okay. Yeah, it did pretty good. Oh, don't step on the keyboard. Go over there. So yeah, I have to chop up the sticks into smaller bits. Okay, but the fact that, first of all, it's really safe because the blades are like 10 inches down.
Yeah, it's just this thing on wheels. It's like this big green plastic piece, and it just goes in.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and it's like it's like a foot square, and it's around 30 pounds at most. It does say wear eye gear and everything else just in case. It has a little paddle.
Demonstration video on this thing.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
So you can see, you just kind of. So I had to chop up the leaves first, and it just starts to get it, pulls it down, and then it just goes zoom. So you can see, like I said, the thing that takes me the longest was to cut the bits up into smaller pieces, but it was with tax like $140.
Nice.
So it's actually cheaper than renting. Plus I wasn't sure if I could rent one of the gas ones and fit it in my SUV.
Oh, that's all you need.
Because they were kind of tall and a little bit large. This thing, no problem. You can fit this in the trunk of a car. So it's going to take me a week and a half, just because it's going to take a while. And I have other stick-like bushes that I have every year. I have to.
You have plenty of stick-related projects to go.
I do.
This. Yes,
I do. And I'm making my own mulch.
There you go.
So I don't have to pay for as much.
Nice. That Harbor Freight, and that's the corded electric chipper shredder, if you want to check that out. So awesome. Well, thank you, everybody that supports the show. Patreon.com/AwesomeCast, including our friends over there, Brian Crawford, Cynthia Klosky, John DeGore, and Dave Potter. Hey, and a new kitty. There you go. Thank you, everybody, by supporting this. And of course, there's a Patreon feed, and you got a little bit of a cat preview on that this week. And we also do a post show where we talk about a few other things and sometimes the less awesome things and such. So, but go check it out. Patreon.com/AwesomeCast. Thank you, everybody that supports the show. And by the way, my Mom Sorg's in the chat room, and I know she's doing a lot of yard work. Also, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I was in her for the July 4th holiday. I went and visited with the sibling, and I commented that her shed looks like a Ryobi showroom. As much stuff she has, I had to figure out how to get her phone to Bluetooth to the. It's like a battery generator. It's got the Ryobi batteries. It takes like 4 of them, and it's a full like your plug kind of say. Like Katie, you remember the Jackery batteries that I have? It's like that, but gianter kind of situation. And I guess you can pull up and shut it down and turn on the light and stuff from your phone. So that was fun. But she's saying about the stick cutter, the stick. What would you call it? The stick eater. That Ryobi has one, because of course it does. So there's that. You know, I get a kick of that every time. She's like, I got a new Ryobi, such and such. I'm like, okay, you know. So, but just on that line, so it's pretty good. Katie, what do you want to bring up next for this part of the show?
Ooh, let me see what I have. I added something. Oh shoot. Do you want video games or do you want more pet stuff, animal stuff?
Let's stay on the animals for now.
Okay. So the last thing in the doc is Anthrocon was back in Pittsburgh this past weekend, and we are so grateful to get to host these furries every single year. It's such, you know, it just makes our lives so much better just seeing furries just out and about in the city. And they also bring a lot to the city economically. And the third thing they really kind of, I guess another really cool thing is they always pick a charity, an animal charity to donate to each year. And this year it was Nose to Tail Rescue in McDonald. And they raised over $89,000 for this cat rescue. And there's a kitten in that the kitten's just snoozing in there. But yeah, this is they're, you know, the folks that were part of this rescue this is all volunteers. It's, you know, multiple people working, multiple jobs. You know, there's 100% donation ran this Nose to Tail Rescue, and they did not expect to be picked, and they were. So they were very excited about it.
That's awesome.
And I thought it was really nice that they, you know, that Anthrocon keeps doing this for our local communities, and it's fantastic.
Very cool. I didn't get a chance to go down and check anything out with the schedule this year, but I'm glad to see that they're still coming, and there's always next year, I guess. I'll hit the parade. I missed it. I really missed it. So, but no, always been one of the really cool things that they have going on down there. So, hey, that's awesome. So there you go. Nose number 2 Tail Rescue on Instagram if you want to check them out as well. Thank you there, Katie. I want to do a follow-up. We actually had a bit of a response to the McDonald's toys, the mini McDonald's toys that we talked about last week. So one guy said that they're very mid, and I said, well, you know what? So were we. So we're here for it. So Missy got one. Okay, and then notice that. Okay, here's you're ready for the Russian doll of Happy Meals. So here's the Happy Meal box. By the way, I love that like we're to the point where the Happy Meal box is the generic Happy Meal box, because I feel like that was always in the commercials, but you never got them when we were a kid. So all right, we got our Happy Meal, and then the stuff comes in. Okay, we got a little Happy Meal box. And then okay, what was the toy though? What was the toy for the little toy? Oh, it's another Happy Meal box. So there you go, a full Russian doll situation of the little McDonald's Happy Meal box. This does not open. Oh wait a minute. What does this do? No. Oh, this opens as well. Oh no, it also opens. And there's a piece of paper in here. Is it a note? Is it a fortune? Is it? Oh, they're stickers. I have stickers. Apparently to put on things. So I think they're stickers. Yeah, there's stickers. So you're gonna see a lot of little McDonald's, little nuggets. I love the kiosk. It's so represented on this thing. The self-order kiosk is apparently part of McDonald's life. So it's not just at the airport. But yeah, I guess that's true. I don't go into a McDonald's very often. It's usually kind of more on the run.
Last time I went into a McDonald's, there were 2-3 kiosks, and the people behind were more getting the food together and handing it out versus working the counters.
Hey, that takes one person off, and they can concentrate on making sure the rest of it's good. You know, like I don't mind the app situation. Honestly, I'm a big order by the app person. I hate talking to somebody through the drive-through. Oh, there's a checklist of the toys in here as well. Sorry, I can't. Like, I feel like that's where the issues happen. You know what I mean? You told somebody such and such, no ice, and then, like, did they really put it in? You know, not everyone has a screen that works and stuff like that. I know, Katie, that's very useful where it's like, we're going to Taco Bell. Go order on the Taco Bell app. We are not thinking about this any further. We're just going to get our Taco Bell because, damn it, we deserve it right now after this day.
Yep.
So things like that. So
and to say, I like using the app. I like using the app on Apple devices because you can do sign in with Apple instead of having to create an account.
Yes.
And the fact you don't have to deal with
And they're so bad. They're so bad. Like they get worse, you know. So, and especially as you're out and about, like, you know, you never know what these places are going to be like when you're traveling. So, I'm all about that Apple Life for those things, you know, and I'm glad most of them have them now. I feel like I live on Dunkin' and Starbucks apps at this point, and there's nothing more satisfying than being at an airport. I think Orlando, this always happens to me, where you know, you're in there early, so the only place to grab a bite is McDonald's, and there's this giant line wrapping through the concourse, and then you just walk by everybody and pick up your order. Like that is like so liberating to me when it comes to those. But anyways, did I see another McDonald's article in here? No. I saw a Chuck E. Cheese article.
Yes, you did.
Tell me about this, because I've seen it going around a little bit.
So it's not just Chuck E. Cheese, it's Chuck's Arcade. This is the adult only arcade that is starting to pop up. It's a Chuck E. Cheese brand, and you get to play like classic, you know, there's claw machines, there's classic games, there's more exciting newer games, and it's just like like being a kid, but you know, just adults, and we don't have to worry about kids being in our home.
So this is the nostalgia play of Chuck E. Cheese for us.
Yep.
Fantastic, because you cannot go into a Chuck E. Cheese without a kid. Like, you must, like, you know, it's kind of the opposite effect kind of situation. So this looks like it's in a mall from the video that it's showing here.
Might be. Because there's only a handful of locations right now. Is there like 9 coming soon? But they're in these very random locations like Beaufort, Georgia, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, El Paso, Texas, like in New Hampshire, Kansas City. You know, it's very.
Victor, New
I'm
York.
sure there's something for them, but I don't.
There's three around Pittsburgh. It looks like.
What?
There's one in Greensburg.
Wait. Are you talking about
those are?
I think you're talking about Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah, there's Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, okay.
Like,
okay. I hit location on Chuck's Arcade. And it said find a Chuck's Arcade, and it went to Chuck E. Cheese. So
I made that mistake earlier, so I knew what you were doing.
Oh, so like
you
well,
mean,
not the mistake, they
the
messed
page.
up.
You guys scroll down. Okay.
Yeah, it's this one here. So
Okay.
unless you, I don't know, maybe you ended up at Chuck E.
Nope.
Cheese out of this, or find Chuck's Arcade. Oh, this goes to chuckecheese.com.
That goes. Yeah, that was my confusion. That was my confusion.
And that's where, you know, it doesn't distinguish on here between the two of them. So, and we do have a couple of Chuck E. Cheese throughout the Pittsburgh area. So, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, one over in Greensburg, Pittsburgh, and Bridgeville, it looks like. So, wait, where's this one? Oh, that really? Allison Park is Pittsburgh? What the hell? Let's sure. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's cool. It's
At least
cool.
it's in the county.
Yeah, it's a cool nostalgia play on them. I mean, looking from the video, it kind of looks like honestly, it looks like any other arcade that you see in like a mall or something like that, you know. But still, like that, it's still like it kind of wins on the branding, right? So, you know, if they served mediocre pizza, I'd be all in. So,
Yo, I was looking at the reviews of some of these at some of the locations, and it was like pizza was not good. I was like, oh yeah, we got the mediocre pizza there.
yes,
There you go,
now
buddy.
We're there. Now we're there. I went. Jeez, yes. Did any of you ever have a birthday at Chuck E. Cheese? Yeah, you had one.
Yep.
Multiple.
Yeah. Multiple. Ooh.
Fancy smancy.
Did you go to that Boardman?
Yeah.
You went to Boardman a lot. You went to that Boardman location, didn't you?
Well, the one actually was around the Pittsburgh area when I was little. That
Okay.
one was cool. Had a slide and everything. Because
Yes.
we'd go with my aunt and uncle. My 18th birthday Chuck E. Cheese was Boardman.
What?
Yep.
I think it was after around first grade-ish, I think maybe when I went. So and the animatronics were there and everything. It was in my head glorious. So so that was a good memory. Anyways, what about you, Dave? Was yours on your like 18th birthday?
No, mine was, I forget, but it was like a 10, 11, 9, 10, 11, somewhere around there. And that was down Bridgeville. And
Yeah.
the thing is, it was the year before, or earlier in that year, it was someone, I went to someone who had their birthday was just at Chuck E. Cheese. It wasn't like an official birthday outing, where my mom called ahead and got the official birthday outing thing where you got so many tickets by her paying so much.
Yeah, I
thing.
feel like we got something similar. So
Yeah.
Yep. I distinctly remember them singing "It's Your Birthday" in celebration. Like, I don't know why that stuck in my head. So, anyways, back to where are we at? Can we talk about religion for a second and Pokemon?
Sure.
Yeah, because that all goes. I love this story. Of course, we know the new pope is from Chicago, so you know, and I think is the first American to be the pope as well. So, a fan in Europe got to visit, and you know, I get there's this thing where you go in, there's kind of a pope meet and greet. That's not the right word for it, but you know what I mean. Not like my meet and greet with Braun Breaker last week, you know, over WWE. There's not a bottle of vodka to sign. You know, actually, if they signed like bottle of wine, that actually would make a lot of sense there. But either way, so there's a. There's a user, Reddit user Reptile Cake who was involved in this. There's an article over on IGN.com, and they got to meet him, and they brought a card for a Pop Leo, which sounds like Pope Leo. And there's a picture of the Pope signing the Pop Leo card, the trading card, and it was like a holographic one and everything too, right? So, and they talked about how like he got the joke, did not know Pokemon, got a kick out of it, and they had a nice moment for it. But I thought that was pretty cool. And this is actually a picture by the Vatican's media service as well. So that kind of gives you an idea. And there is the signed card of the Pop Leo. So by the way, if you're curious, the attack is a disarming voice. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. I don't know how you can relate that, but you got the idea.
You know what? Honestly,
yeah.
If you consider that, you know, if the Pope says something in Latin for the average person, the person's confused and they're like, "What did are they saying? Nice things to me, bad thing? I don't know what they're saying."
Exactly.
You know, they said they're confused.
This quotes from here. It says, "This is a funny joke that it's just a funny joke that His Holiness indulged me with." They said it's worth more than any monetary value can satisfy. There's a quote on here: the Pokemon snorts bodily fluids from his nose, blowing balloons to smash into its foes. According to the Pokedex description, it's famous for being a hard worker, though. So there you go. Nice. So it's a nice little Pokemon moment. I got a kick out of that. Hey, another follow up. Because actually it was funny because this video clip kind of pulled out of the AI of us saying like you no longer have to take your shoes off probably going through TSA, which was actually false the way that it cut the video, right? And I was like, oh, we can't use that because we're talking about the Pittsburgh airport that was looking for volunteers. They got a new TSA service. It's going to be more efficient, and there might be things you don't have to do normally. But I thought it was interesting that this article came up. I think this is from today on The Verge. That turns out I think we were predicting something that was about to happen because the TSA is finally going to end its dumb shoe removal policy for airport security. Dave is celebrating over there. There it is. You can take my bags, you can take my laptops, but don't take my shoes.
Again, I know for those who are too young to remember because it's been a while, there was someone who tried to light a shoe bomb on fire.
Yeah, it happened once. One
Exactly.
time, and now everybody has to
Tried
take their
and
shoes
failed.
off for 25 years. You
Yes.
know, like I mean, but also in this, there's new technology. There's the radars, or not the radars, but there's the X-rays and all those kinds of things. So there's more to circumvent this than you have to take your shoe off and put it through an X-ray machine without that situation. So there you go. So no more shoes. So I guess I don't have to pay for pre-check anymore, right? So,
I still do that. Because you don't know what airport has that new technology.
That's right. Katie, did you end up getting pre-check for your mother for travel? I remember this was a conversation we were having.
No, I did not. And I
Okay.
was laughing very hard when you said, I no longer need a pre-check. And I was remembering you and your electronics at the last airport we were at.
Oh, when we didn't have pre-check because they closed at 9 p.m. for some reason? God, where were we? Coming out of Baltimore, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, my God. That was so god-awful. Something similar happened to me coming out of Vegas after Mania Week because I had like a 10 o'clock flight, and everything was funneled through one thing. And I swear that is the angriest part of the airport, is we've shut down everything, we're funneling through, and it's the end of the day, and there's too many people, and everybody is yelling at you. Just yelling at you. It's just it's the most miserable experience ever. And I've never wanted to fight a police officer so bad as in those instances. So we were just like, oh, this is not okay. I got to take a damn gummy in order to get through it. So anyways, my mother chimed in. Apparently that was the Bridgeville location that my party was at too. So but either way, okay, well, at least that's a little easier with those kinds of situations, and hopefully I don't get yelled at for just existing as much anymore. Dave Podner, tell me about Lego Babylon 5.
Yeah, this to me is mind-blowing. Now, for those who don't know, Babylon 5 was a science fiction show.
I've still never really watched it. I've watched a lot of videos about it, and it was tremendous for its time. Hard to go back. Hard to go back and watch.
Well, I'll say this. The graphics are hard to watch.
Yeah, I mean, just
they can be.
It's the production of the age, and if I don't already have an ingrained love for it, it's like when I try to go back and watch The Wire on HBO. That was very difficult, and I didn't get very far.
I'll say this: Babylon 5 had an amazing story.
Mm-hmm.
It mainly because the author, I'll call him an author because he wrote most of the 105 episodes, or how many there are.
Mm-hmm.
Wrote out the 5-year arc of the entire story.
Yeah.
So there was a beginning, middle, end. Oh, this happened in season 1, episode 4, and then it pays off in season 4, episode 16.
Either way,
you're like,
very
amazing.
Influential science fiction. What do we got here, Dave?
Yeah. So someone made a giant Lego model of the Babylon 5 station.
Mm-hmm.
So the station in canon is a 5-mile. I'm sorry. This is Babylon 5 related. This is one of the Earth ships that they made a model of in Legos. You can see it
moves.
Massive. Yeah. So in storyline, Earth ships do not have artificial gravity.
Mm-hmm.
So the way you get artificial gravity in space, if you don't have it, is you rotate.
Mm-hmm.
So in the show, the middle part rotates. Well, the part with the Lego here rotates. They put all the little details on, the stickers that match exactly, the little red dots on the side, which are missiles coming off, the little cannons on the side, the detail and the amount of work to create. Now, this is not one you can buy. Like
this is something somebody built.
This is someone made on their own.
Yeah.
But the amount of detail is just amazing and mind-blowing when you look at it. And to know that here's a show that's pretty much been off the air because it ended in 96, 97. And, there's not been spin-offs like Star Trek or Star Wars. There were a couple spin-offs, but pretty much there was a new animation thing that came out recently, but the last
I think they did.
canonical
Did they
thing
do a
came out
couple
20 years ago?
Yeah, they did. Didn't they do a couple movies on Sci-Fi or something?
They did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they did a couple movies. They tried a couple spin-offs. It never really took. So it's been literally 20 years since there was a push from a network trying to push anything on it.
Sure.
And it still has, it's almost like Star Trek was in the 70s before the motion picture came out. It's like, it's been a decade since it's been on TV, but there's still there's still a fan base that's deep into it. So same thing with Babylon 5. And you can, like I said, the detail in the ship. And also think about when they were putting these things in the CGI in the mid 90s I think they did it on Amigas, a video toaster.
I've seen a video toaster once. They had one in the video production room at the Art Institute when I went.
So you can imagine someone doing this back then, all CG.
Yeah.
So there were no physical models even back then.
Yeah, it's really incredible. I was seeing behind the scenes of Jurassic Park and looking at the computers that they did. It's really astonishing that they did as good as they did in 1993, right?
Yeah.
Or even looking into when we got to Star Wars, the prequels and the redos and everything like that. So. Yeah, it's interesting. So, but no, very cool, and we threw up there on video a picture of the ship, so you can kind of see what the original was. All right, I got two stories here, or I don't think this is for this, but here's some homework for you guys. My mother needs hearing aids, and I said, well, you can get the cool Bluetooth ones probably. So I'm going to put this on. We're not going to get into it for right now, but I think this is for later, because I know we talked about a few of these on the show. But my mother, we need high-tech hearing aid recommendations for my mother. I told her to, first of all, pick up some AirPod Pros. Katie, weren't you talking to your mother about those for some helping her out with some things?
Trying to remember what I was talking to her about with the it wasn't for hearing, it was for something else. Dang, I know we talked about the fact that they were hearing protection for you when we were at the concert that one day.
Yeah, it was helpful for concerts. I wore it for Boom on the Bridge because it was getting kind of loud, and I'm just like, well, I need to think. And I was at an ICP show, and one of the opening bands, like the bass was just way too much, and it's a small room and there's nowhere to go, so I put them in, and the bass was so bad that it was distorting through the AirPods. So that's for hearing protection, but there are hearing
the AirPod, like I said, the AirPods Pro 2, there are medical level. They can be used for if you have slight hearing loss. So if it's only light or moderate, they actually can be used as hearing aids, the AirPods Pro 2. And, you can answer your phone with them. So basically, yes. And it actually sets up a hearing test through your phone.
And comparatively, this is only a $250 device. I say only because, what she was looking into starts at like $700, goes into a couple $1,000 if you get really, really high end ones.
And you know what? Even though it says $240, $250, you can get them for $180 now on Amazon.
Yeah.
You can get them for under $200.
Make sure it is
you said.
Make sure it's the AirPod Pro 2.
Right.
Because it's kind of indistinguishable sometimes the way they list it. So, but yeah, that could be very helpful.
My dad has hearing aids, and they're Bluetooth, and he listens to, it doesn't have the listen through the phone like the AirPods has. But when he talks on a phone, it doesn't go through. He doesn't use a Bluetooth headset. He uses his earphones.
Yeah,
He uses
yeah.
his hearing aid.
Yeah.
Same thing when he's talking on the phone in the car.
Mm-hmm.
He uses the Ford built-in when he has a Mach-E.
I'm even thinking about the idea that, like, I love, I'll come home like late at night, Missy's already sleeping, and I want to put something on to unwind, but I don't want to like blast the TV. Plus the fans are running and stuff, so I'm gonna have to turn up so loud in order to me to hear, because I do have a slight tinnitus happening. And everything too, so I also need to watch out for that. But I'll just throw my AirPods in, and I'm watching on Apple TV anyways, so that could be worthwhile instead of being that person that is. And I know, I think Katie and Missy have both said, "Hey, why is the TV so loud?" And I was like, "Well, it's me." But being able to put my AirPods in and not bother anybody else. And not have to turn it all the way up for me to understand certain things. Like, I have problems with accents sometimes, so I'll throw on subtitles or something like that. That was a problem before, starting to get a little bit of hearing loss. So I think that's one aspect to look at it. That media, being in loud rooms, things like that, and be able to funnel things out. So I know that's another problem that I have with. Is the AirPods more for somebody in my position or somebody in that later position?
This way, if you do the hearing test, and it does the hearing test just like if you go to a hearing doctor. If it notices that your hearing is damaged enough, it'll say, your hearing will not be helped by, you need higher medical grade.
It lets you know.
Material. So it lets you know.
So what I should do is let my mother borrow my AirPods, do the test, and see what happens. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. So there's that. Katie, do you know anything else from this? I know you always keep an eye out for assistive technology.
No, I don't. No, nothing beyond that.
But yeah, like I said, my dad has the hearing aids that are Bluetooth, and I never asked him how much it is, but I know that I know people at work who got hearing aids, and I don't think they were the high tech ones, but it was a few years ago, but it was like $2,000 per ear. So, and of course that's the kind of thing that's not covered by insurance.
Yeah, exactly. Which is so mind-numbing to me that you get insurance, but it doesn't cover your teeth, your hearing, your eyes. Like, we're just not covering the headpiece, guys. This is all bothersome to me. Either way, hey, I have a couple of stories I'd love to talk about. We're going to move them to Patreon, where I'm going to talk about. I'm going to try to understand Jack Dorsey's not cryptic. What is this? Encrypted Bluetooth messaging app, and then I'm going to ask Katie about how Gmail's new email subscriptions feature affects her work, and whatever else we come up with. And I'm finally going to talk about the thing that I wanted to complain about an app we talked about several months ago. So that's what we got. Dave Potter, iPhoneography Podcast.
Yep. Prof Prod everywhere else on the internet. And actually, if you look at me, especially on Instagram, I posted lots of photos from the furry parade.
Yes, I saw those. I was so happy to see that. And then, of course, Katie Dutters, katiedutters.com for your starting point in the Dutters world.
Ta-da! I'll talk about Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes. We're going to find a Chuck's Arcade. We're going to see if there's one near one of our adventures in the next year here. So either way, thank you everybody at Sorgatron on the social medias, and a lot of you can see some of the behind the scenes from Enjoy Wrestling's first ever live stream from Mr. Small's Theater. Katie was there for that. It was a lot of fun, and thank you whoever brought the bubbles. Maybe we'll talk about that on the show later today for Wrestling Mayhem show, and so much more. Thursday nights is our video training class. If we have any aspiring video professionals in the Pittsburgh area and you happen to like professional wrestling, come on down to the south side of the One Upscape shop, and we have a lot of fun there. And Top Rope Tabletop, if you like Dungeons and Dragons, will be on the IndieWrestling.us YouTube and other feeds this Friday, so stay tuned for that too. And look for Katie at Pittsburgh on Friday, right?
Yep. I'll be there Friday all day.
Will you, is there a Jagoff tent or something that you'll be a part of? There you go.
Yeah, we'll have a whole. It is by the stage. The pickle drinking will be right next to it.
There you go. Will you be signing pickle things?
Absolutely. Bring them. I'll do it.
Pickle and Hello Kitty items will be signed by Katie.
If you can combine the two, I'll be very happy.
There you go. A Hello Kitty pickle. There you go. Thank you, everybody. And stay tuned for Patreon if you're with us on there. We'll see you guys next time. You've been an awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at Sorgatron.